Welcome to the Dimples Show, where your questions are answered. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Dimples Show. Post number 7. Yes, you heard it from me. Number 7 already. I remember our very first video last week. Anyway, this will get some housekeeping business out of the way. It's near the end of the week, so thank God tomorrow's Friday. TGIF almost there. TGIF Eve, I should say. Also, yesterday was the day last year. Yesterday last year was the day a very close friend of mine passed away. I believe I already mentioned it in my previous video, so just like I have a moment of silence for him. Alright, so anyway, I've received 3 more questions this morning. They want to maintain anonymous, but I think these are some very good questions. Matter of fact, these are 3 out of like 15 that I got over the course of last night between 6 o'clock and 5 o'clock this morning. But these 3 in particular, these 3 questions in particular, I found to be the most fascinating and to be the most important questions, in my opinion, for those that, for those that want to start a company, or those that want to have a future, or those that just want to pursue something in college that they're going to enjoy, and the particular careers that they're aiming for, summing up basically what all the questions we're asking. So to start with the very first question, eventually we're going to have a person that's going to read them out to me, and I'll just answer them instead of me not only reciting the question and answering them. I'll just answer them. So, but unfortunately, my brother doesn't want to do it because he's playing his games. I mean, that's all he does. And I have the 2 camera people here that they prefer to remain anonymous too, unfortunately. I forgot to say that they're also running Periscope. So I'm also on Periscope. Most likely this recording is one from Periscope. So just to say that but they're told not to say anything because, you know, why, the camera guy is not supposed to say anything. So they're supposed to keep quiet. You have no idea how many times in the past when we did videos like this, I had to restart or edit the shit out of these videos just because they coughed or they burped, and it's like, the only reason why is because I don't like, unless if they're told to speak, it's weird. But then again, isn't it all? I mean, if you're watching a movie, say, you do not want the camera guy to be yapping his mouth off while the action's going on, right? It's gonna get annoying. Or if you watch a movie in the theaters, you don't want no one talking, right? You just want to enjoy the gist of what's going on. So that's kind of that's the mentality I have here. So I'm sorry, you two, but I'm paying you guys food for doing this. So if they go to, I give them a few coupons to McDonald's, or I just take them out end of the week and get some food. Anywho, so let's start with the very first question. The very first question is number 1 because I think it's the most important, in my opinion, out of these 3. It is, what is the very first step in making a company and or product? Now, in order to start a company, well, actually first, it was actually kind of a 2-parter. He asked a question like this very similar last week, but he was like, he went in more detail. He was like, do you need a certain personality trait? Do you need to be a particular type of person? Do you need to have the background? Do you need to have the money? It really doesn't matter if you have the personality or not. It doesn't even matter if you, well, actually, it really does matter if you have the money or not. But every single company started at 0, revenue of 0, and they just built their way up. So it really doesn't matter much on those factors. It really matters on you, if you're really up to the responsibility of making your own company. It's hot inside here, by the way, so I might just take off my hat eventually. So it really doesn't matter on all those factors. So this question here is a bit more direct in general, and honestly, the answer to that question is, you just need to have, number 1, an idea. If you're gonna make any type of company, anything at all, and any type of business at all, whether it be food, technology, transportation, anything, you need to have an idea or purpose. Usually companies have an idea and they build their way up. Others have a purpose. What's the purpose of Microsoft? To provide the world with computers and software. What's the purpose of Apple? To provide Apple iPhones and iOS to all devices that are compatible with it. What's the purpose of computer companies in general? To provide computers to the general public, right? And then you have competition between those companies to see who can build the best product or who can build the most product at any given date. They have these things called hackathons, where people who write software, they come together and they basically hack 3 days straight or all day long or all night long to try to put together a project for the benefit of that company. And other companies have this too, that are very deep in the technology field to try to better the company, better the products, better the revenue, so that they can then defeat competition, or they'll better their chances in succeeding against all the other companies out there. And every single company is doing it, so it's very competitive. But you just need to have that particular purpose. You just need to have that idea. Find a purpose to why you want to start the company and just follow it. Just do it. Start small. There was a kid, he would just cut people's lawns for a living. He would shovel driveways, etc. He would charge $5 to $10. If it's during the winter, he'll charge a little bit more because it's more of the labor. But if it's like cutting the grass or doing any type of landscape, he would charge about $10, right? So it's not, he charged decent price, and he made this revolutionary design of a lawnmower / weed whacker / all these type of things. And do you know what he did? He got the attention of all these investors. These investors gave him the money, and for one, he didn't know how to use social media, but he did manage to get that idea out there, and he did put himself out there for the benefit of the people, of the clients, of the consumers, and that caught the eye of all these investors. They started giving him money. He then used the money to a good cause. He bettered his design, made a small group of individuals like himself with the same product to go out there and to cut people's lawns and to do landscaping. Now he owns his own landscaping business. He's worth millions right now. If I can get his name, I'll put it in the credits. All right, I'm going to text you guys to put it in the credits. By the way, I don't edit my own videos anymore. These two do it. So if there's any error in it, don't look at me, look at these two. Or it's my brother. He knows how to edit videos too. But anyway, so when I get his name, I'm going to put up, because there's also another story where it's the same guy that did the exact same thing, but I don't know if he escalated up to a company, but he did make lots of money as an entrepreneur by selling that to these landscaping companies. But this kid in particular, he's like maybe 18, is what that's what he did. And I was like, well, okay, number one, he had an idea. Number two, he had the balls to go out there, exercise his product, and go out there for the benefit of the consumers. That's another thing. When you're running a company, you want to make sure that you're dealing your clients properly and respectfully, so that they can start talking about you. Because if you're giving people attitude, they're gonna talk trash, and they're gonna talk shit about you. And once that negativity is out there, it's hard to get the attention back on yourself, as original as it was before they realized that you were that way, right? You want to start yourself as positive. You want to be as nice as possible, benefit the client as much as possible. If you don't get that $5 million bonus that year because you had to help a bit more people than needed, do it. People are going to come to you more. You'll gain that $10 million, that $5 million, whatever bonus that you're missing, you'll get eventually later down in the future. I guarantee you that, right? Because for me, when I started my company, it started out as an idea. I gave it a name and everything, contacted the necessary people that I needed to be part of that company, of skills that I lacked. That's another thing. If you lack something that you don't have, that your company really, really needs, you go out there and you find it. Because if you don't find that, your company is not going to succeed as much as it should, or it would, had you gone out there and get that person to come work for you, right? So I had to go out there and get the people that I didn't have, that had the skill sets I didn't have, that the company really needed. It didn't last very long. Matter of fact, we didn't even get to that stage where we started helping other people, but resulted in founding the BHS, or Bowick High School, the high school I go to, Supercomputer Club. That led to that development. Anytime now, well, right now, technically it is a company because we're actually helping other people, non-profit. We're actually going to that stage now we're meeting the demands of customers. So it started out from a small group of kids to a club in a high school, now being sponsored by the school and by other scientific laboratories. Now we're going to take it to a whole new level to get to the company phase, which we're at right now. Right now, getting all that kind of stuff done, So we're in the development phase, but we're taking orders. We're building supercomputers for other people. So we technically are a company, minus revenue of course, but that revenue comes in through donations for now until we can get ourselves off our feet. But right now we're doing really good. So so that's basically about it. It all starts with an idea. It all starts with a very good purpose of demand, and just have the balls to carry it out there. All right, that's what you got to do. All right, so second question is, how do I know what to pursue in college? This comes before anything. I said that the first question was important. This here is actually the most important thing to ever concentrate on right before, I should say, you graduate high school. You need to have some type of idea of what you're going to do in the future. So what you got to do is, if you don't know what to study in college and you're in your senior already, you're in bad shape. You got to find something quick, because the senior year is the time you go out and you apply to different types of colleges, if not 100 different colleges if you can afford it, because they have application fees. But as much colleges as you can. That's the point where you go out there and you have to, all right, know, okay, this is what I want to study. So now you choose particular schools, and then you choose buffers. Just in case those schools that you want to go to don't accept you, well, these little buffer schools will accept you, so you're still guaranteed an education. What you gotta do is you gotta find something that you like. Find a passion. Find a passion for yourself, because if you don't have a passion, then what are you living for? Like, if there's nothing in this world that makes you happy that you want to do for the rest of your life, what's your purpose, really? There really isn't, because now you're just living off of others, and that's, what is that? That's not a life. That's kind of an extension of prison. So what you gotta do is you gotta find particular skills that you're good at and pursue it. I guarantee you, some college out there has those particular skills that you have. You just gotta go out there and find it. Okay, that's what you gotta do. All right, so the third and last question is best careers to get into, or the best jobs to fulfill in the future. Presently of 2016, if you're in the technology business, you'll have absolutely no problem in finding a job. It's absolutely impossible to miss out on any type of opportunities when you're in the technology field, because every single business in this world operates on computers. 99.99% of the industry that this world relies on to support itself is heavily dependent on computers and computer systems and people who run those computer systems. So that's what you gotta do. If you wanna have no trouble finding a job, get into technology. If technology isn't your forte, become a doctor. Being some type of doctor or nurse, they make a hell of a lot of money. Initially, maybe not, because you're starting out, but in the long run, you'll be making $300,000 a year at most. Plus bonuses, perhaps, if you're a neurosurgeon or just a surgeon in general. So if you become a doctor, if that's what you want to do, go ahead, do it. Though that's the job that I would really recommend going into. Another one is engineering. That too. If you have an engineering degree, you'd be surprised in how many businesses would want you. Car, the auto industry, the aerospace industry, to the military industry, or military application like Lockheed, or to certain departments of Boeing. You'd be surprised. All right, and that's another one, and they pay really good. You're looking at like $150,000 a year at most, plus bonuses if you're a project manager. And number 3 is business. That's another one. If you're going to get into the business field, or if you want to become a businessman, I guarantee you any job would get you. If you have managing skills, good social skills, good analytical and comprehension skills, you're just good with 101 or 1 on like 1,000, or if you really know how to run a company, you know how to start your own company, finding a job or creating your own job should be no problem. Okay, those are really all the jobs out there, or the particular careers that will get you a job guaranteed, hands down. Everything else are considered buffers, right? You can also you could pursue sports. That could be one. You need sponsors and live off of that. But if you want a job, like a job that you have to really work for it to get the money, those are the 4 particular jobs that I would recommend getting into. And if those are not your favorite, I'm not saying that these other jobs, like for example, psychologist, social worker, race car driver for Pete's sake, or a columnist, journalist, author, these are not bad careers. I'm not saying that they don't make a lot of money. Many of them make a shitload of money, even more than what the 4 careers I just told you about make. I'm just saying that those are the 4 main type of businesses that run this world. So that's why I'm saying go into those fields if you really want to have a guaranteed note that you're going to get a job and that you're always going to be on the front lines of things. Everything else pays really well because they piggyback off of those 4 things. These 4 particular careers run the world. Everything else follows behind. So that's my opinion. So if you're gonna get into social working, or if you're gonna become a psychologist, or if you're gonna be a athlete, or whatever, pursue it. Go ahead. If that's your passion, do it. I don't tell people, okay, that's your passion, but look, you have a passion for swimming, so become a swimmer for the Olympics, get sponsored that way. Or okay, you have a passion of getting into the auto industry, not a bad choice. But business over there, look at their their business in terms of employment rate. It's doing really good. So I would recommend you go there. Actually, I'm gonna force you to go over there. I'm not doing that. I'm not forcing you to do anything. Just giving you advice on what to do. So that's my take on it. Really, it's all on you. I'm just providing the facts, so you know the ins and outs of it all, so you don't have to think about it or ask other people, okay, what do I choose? Alright, so that concludes today on the 3 questions I received. I'm going to try to do a little bit more in the future, but 3 I'm going to start out with. I'm going to have different types of setups. So this is going to be one of the setups. We're going to try over there. So we're going to have like 3 different types of setups. So this is one. The other one is over there in the meeting room, living room, or my room upstairs, my office, or outside. We're gonna have different types of dynamical places to do these questions from. So it's not like, okay, same spot, same place, not dynamic. We're just gonna switch it up a bit for your benefit. And because I don't like standing, I like to sit, so I can have the urge to talk a little bit more, you know. But anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was very informative. And you know, if you guys are before these 3 questions, if these 3 questions do not apply to your life yet, I would consider these particular questions. I'll put them down below. Answer these questions yourself in terms of your position. So if you're going to run a company, or if you want to start a company, what type of product would you make, or what type of company would you govern to benefit society, or what type of stuff in college do you want to pursue, or what type of career do you want to pursue? All right, what type of subject, whatever, in college, career, business, I don't care. If you want to put that down on the comments below, I'd be happy to to read them, comment on them, etc., etc. So yep, that's about it. So stay tuned for more by subscribing and liking this video. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, you know what to do, comment down below. Alright, later guys.